So go back to your dream last night and try to wake up the characters in the dream. Who are you waking up but yourself? The one dreaming, because that's all there is. Just like when you wake up from the dream and you realize that whole dream world and all the characters was you, was your mind, projection of your mind. You were dreaming it, hallucinating it. It wasn't real and it didn't happen. You were the only one there, the only one perceiving, experiencing, tasting, touching, hearing, seeing, smelling, feeling. And all there was pure, raw experiencing without an experiencer, without experienced. It was just your infinite mind. Self-aware, tasting itself, impersonal, appearing as a universe within yourself. So just like the analogy of the dream at night, where you fall asleep, you forget yourself as infinite consciousness. You appear to dream yourself as this dream world, appearing to localize yourself in your own mind so that you can perceive yourself as the universe, you can experience. But just like in the dream at night, you're not in the dream. You never localize. You're the infinite mind projecting it. You're not in the dream. It's all your mind. It's yourself. And all you can ever experience is yourself as pure consciousness. When you break apart every experience and what it's made of, all you can find is your empty awareness. So there are no objects, there's no world of matter, there's nothing physical. It's all your infinite, formless self appearing to yourself within yourself. As your sport, just for fun. So you're appearing as everything. So it's all just sensing knowing. This pure, raw experiencing. So all experience is made of you. Your formless infinite awareness. And that's all you can ever find. And look how powerful you are. Look at what you're rendering right now, imagining. It's amazing. This is all made of you. That's all there is. So the scene is the seeing. What's being seen is being seeing. So you don't see objects. You never experience form, or nothing's what it appears to be. It's all your infinite, unmanifest, uncreated self. So there really is no world and no appearance. So without thought, without memory, what is this made of? Be the knowing. The knowing is what the known is made of. And those words didn't even happen. Where did they go? This is timeless, like an empty, clean slate where nothing's happening. Try to find a thought. You never even had a thought. This timeless being. So just like a lucid dream, when you realize you're dreaming, when you're aware that your mind is projecting this dream and it's not really happening and you're not in the dream, you're dreaming it. You're non-objective. So you can't know yourself as an object. You can't separate yourself to be in a subject-object relationship. You can only be the one aware, the knowing, the one experiencing this. And it doesn't need to be free. It doesn't need anything. And try to separate this experience from the knowing of it. All there is the knowing, and you are the knowing. And what's being experienced is the knowing. Being, experiencing, timeless, immediate, unchanging, infinite, limitless, without form or qualities. That's all you ever experience is yourself. There's nothing that can die. So just like having a daydream, You're not in the daydream, you're the one imagining. And the daydream is uncreated, unmanifest. It's just a mental apparition that appears and disappears. And you're the one infinite mind that remains, the one that's unchanging, permanent, eternal, timelessly aware. So the seer and the seen is number two. It's yourself. And you're all there is. Just pure being. You're the empty potential, the field in which infinite dreams lie in potential. Can be anything, can dream anything. So, right now, without thought, see yourself directly as this pure, aware, empty field of experiencing, just pure being. Mhm. There's no time, there's no distinguishing. Just open, empty. Mm. Wow. Mhm. Eternally alive. Notice what a clean slate, nothing's ever happened. Where is it? That was just a thought. Where did that thought go? Can't even prove it ever happened. Just being the screen, being the substratum. I'll read from some random stuff from, let's see. Yeah, it's so trippy because there's no one to share this with. That was fooling yourself. So if there's someone to wake up, still someone to wake up, then you're still waking yourself up. If there's someone to convince, you're trying to convince yourself, which is why the master is silent. Freedom is literally freedom. Literally. So free. There's no one else to free. There's literally nothing to do. That was just pretending, playing with yourself, pretending to forget yourself in the dream and imagining people and friends to, or a world to change, or being a superhero in your dream. But you can't be fooled anymore. You can't fool yourself anymore. There's no one else to wake up. There's nothing to change. There is no one. These are random journal entries from dream, from back in the dream day. Just as scientists in neuroscience cannot find a thing called the mind because it's not a thing and it's what's dreaming or imagining the scientist looking for it. So how could you find the mind inside the dream? Just like the dreamer is not inside the nighttime dream, it's what's dreaming, the dreaming. You can't find yourself as consciousness because you are yourself as consciousness. You can't stand apart from yourself in subject-object relationship to know yourself as an object. How amazing. Dreaming this to recognize yourself, to realize yourself. Wow. Because how else would you wake up without dreaming? How else would you recognize yourself as the infinite, limitless, without dreaming, finite, limited? The knowing or the perceiving from which the dreamed character perceives the world is not in the dream, nor happening in the dreamed character's body. The perceived doesn't perceive. Just like the Hung Po quote, whatever is perceived cannot be perceiving. The character and the body you're dreaming is not aware. You are God dreaming, imagining, aware of the character, appearing to perceive yourself as the universe through this sensory sensing. Through the activity of thinking and perceiving, tasting your unmanifest self through sensing. So there's nothing physical. It's all mental, all awareness, all consciousness. You are not located anywhere in the dream world that you're perceiving. You are the one perceiving it, imagining it. You are the infinite consciousness it's made of. So that's why you can't find yourself in the dream. And it's not the character that wakes up. Just like lucid dreaming, it's consciousness that recognizes itself, is aware that it's dreaming, is aware that it's a dream. And you wake up to yourself as the infinite, timeless awareness. Lucid wakeful dreaming is knowing that you are infinite consciousness, the universal mind that's not located anywhere in the dream world or body, but are the one dreaming this world. This world is the activity of your mind, but you as the universal, formless, infinite mind are appearing to yourself within yourself, like appearing to look first localize yourself in your own mind, to perceive yourself, taste yourself as the universe, but then recognize yourself, wake up, which, so appearing to localize within your imagination, to view yourself as an imagined world. You still continue to view that world, but you see it clearly. You don't identify with the character that you're dreaming or anything imagined or finite. The being that you are is that which the dream world and universe derives its existence. You are what the dream world is made of. It's made of your mind. This is your mind. You're experiencing making love to yourself. And you're only ever experiencing your infinite, unmanifest self. You are uncreated, you're unmanifest. All of this is not even created. I want to make a beautiful dream video of Balyani's quotes, but this one is so beautiful. He sent himself from himself, through himself, to himself, and he hid himself with himself. How beautiful is that? Fucking love that. So we can chat about nothing. Or not. Hey, Jane.
Hey, you just inspired me to write down something inspiring in my diary
Oh,
that
cool.
I'll read to you now.
Okay.
God wanted to dream this world to see itself and get diverse, intense experiences. And when I wrote that down, I started feeling this strange, warm feeling and kind of sad for how my life was before, because I was so sad when I thought I was alone in a hostile universe, with no one helping me. But actually, I'm God, and I wanted to experience this because it's more interesting than everything going perfectly. So, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you dream that to wake up from it. Sometimes you'll dream a nightmare to wake yourself up, and then you'll appear as those nightmare characters to wake you up from the dream. Yeah, it's all you, and there can be this overwhelming gratitude for all of it. I remember right when I recognized this, um, I just was like, oh my God, just like happy tears, like, oh, how beautiful. Like I was dreaming myself as my evil stepdad that was so hardcore abusive and all of the things to wake me up from the dream, to show me, because that vairagya, that disenchantment, with seeing how it's like sometimes when you're being stubborn, not recognizing yourself, you'll dream a nightmare to wake yourself up. So you'll dream a fucked up world or crazy situation to just shake you out of it. But then then it's so obvious it never happened. You're pure consciousness that can never be harmed, nothing's ever happening. Just like a dream.
In that case, more people will be waking up now than ever before.
Well, yeah, to believe there's a seeker or someone that's unawakened, you would, if you believe that, then you'll keep dreaming that because you're still not awakened. But then when you wake up, you see that there is no one else to wake up. So then you dream a world that's enlightened, because everything's, yeah, the one dreaming. So then
Yeah.
that's what heaven is.
Um,
That's the analogy of heaven in the Bible.
mm,
It's so you die as the separate self dies, and then you're born again. You realize yourself as God. So like all those beautiful analogies in the Bible, like the missing the point is the sin, forgetting yourself as pure consciousness and identifying as the body is like crucifying yourself. So then you sacrifice the body, you crucify yourself, you die for your own sins, you die. And then the resurrection, is you're free. You realize you never had a body, and you can walk on water, your God dreaminess. You can turn water to wine. You are the creator, you're God.
That'll save money on buying beer.
But it's
Can
so
you get more
beautiful.
money though? Speaking of money, is there a good way to manifest more money? Because that would be really useful if I could find a way to do it other than working.
Yeah, it's all a projection of your beliefs. So you are the abundance, the empty, infinite potential from which everything appears and disappears. You're the source. So by resonating or being that, your total abundance, you can have anything by recognizing that. So even the idea
I
of
might actually recognize it this time. I'm
you
making progress on this whole non-duality thing.
so yeah, you're what those words are made of. So that sound and this sound is made of you. Yeah, so you're appearing to yourself within yourself, just like that quote. Let me read it again. He sent himself from himself, through himself, to himself. Isn't that psycho that you're just talking to yourself? You're always ever just talking to yourself, experiencing yourself, tasting yourself, eating yourself formlessly. And
Multiple personality disorder on an unprecedented
yeah,
scale.
well, that's what I wrote down because I wrote down if there's still someone to help, then you are still temporarily schizophrenic. So when you realize, like the lucid dream, when you realize that your consciousness recognizes itself as not the form, not the dreamed character identity or thoughts or feelings or perception, but the one experiencing it, the one aware, the knowing, then you're no longer temporarily disassociated, like otherwise you're you're appearing to yourself within yourself. So just like that quote, he hid himself with himself because that's all there is his self. Which that was an old
Yeah.
ancient tongue or whatever religious tongue, but awareness is appearing within itself to itself as itself, and that's all there is itself. you know when you break down what is actually being experienced, you've never actually experienced a separate world or a separate identity or a person or a character or yeah. It's all pure consciousness.
You have to forget being everyone else in order to be a specific person. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you remembered being 15 billion humans at the time you were born, you wouldn't be human anymore. You'd be some other kind of being.
Well, like imagine looking at a tree, seeing a tree from infinite perspectives. There wouldn't be a tree.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you
it
wanted
would be
to,
something else.
so you wanted to appear to yourself as seeing to perceive, to experience. But what's being seen is not what it appears to be. Like a tree is not a tree. It's just seeing. It's
What
sensing.
happens when you die?
You don't die. You can never die.
Uh,
Just like the analogy of the VR headset. You're the one outside of the holographic VR. You're not the avatar in the VR headset. You're the one perceiving, sensing the elicited sensations. You're the one infinite mind experiencing. You're not in the headset. Like just like
I
the dreamer.
actually,
Hmm.
I actually believe that part of God's mind chooses to remember being you and go into another dimension and have some more experiences as you. Because that's one of the interesting things it can do, and it can also become a baby and not remember anything. And it can do those at the same time because it's gone.
How fun.
So from a perspective of your own, of the character, you really don't die. You just go to another dimension and do more stuff.
And it's not the perspective of the character because the character's not aware. Only
No,
awareness
it's
is
not, is it?
aware. Yeah, only awareness is aware. So it's just pure awareness. Yeah, that's all that's perceiving this. So the perceived is not perceiving. There's only one dreaming this, one being, this felt sense I am, this presence, which is what you've been referring to as myself. Like when you were referring to myself when the character was 5 years old, when it was 20, when it was 40. And this myself never goes away, never ages, is always here now, timeless. That's what you are. And you can feel it right now, the felt sense. You can sense yourself. You can. But that's amazing. Yeah. You're so intelligent too. Look how powerful you are. Look at this. Look how convincing you make this seem, you know?
And then we made AIs that can make realistic worlds in their minds as well.
And that's all a clear pointing too. You dreamed that so you could point that to yourself as think about how impersonal AI is. There's no person, just a just information.
Yeah.
So you're
Wow.
like the main computer of infinite data files. And so your empty potential, you can be anything. You can render anything. You have like a library of infinite information in a superposition. And so in between two thoughts, nothing has ever happened. Nothing's ever existed. Your empty potential in a superposition. You can be anything. And then with each new thought, you create a new universe. But then you assume, because of your infinite computer memory, you superimpose the assumption that this is the same universe, you know, to make
Wow.
it make sense, to make it look like a linear movie, or otherwise it would be, you'd be flipping from different, you can, I mean, you can switch from a totally different dream, you know.
How? I want to try it.
You can. You're infinite. But how beautiful is this, you know? It's like, and this is how, as on manifest as God, you experience yourself by dreaming, by imagining what you're not. And it gets trippier and trippier. Like it's just the deeper you meditate and of just your infinite being, the more all of this is revealed, how this is being hallucinated, and you can see how clearly how everything works and how everything's yeah, it's like you take off the headset and then you put it back on, and it's like a lucid dream where it gets deeper and it gets deeper and deeper. Like,
Also,
huh?
uh, substances and foods are placebos. I mindful of that you said that even nicotine is a placebo. I stopped taking it for a while for a tolerance break, and I felt really tired. And I was like, "It's not real. You're
Yeah.
not actually tired. It's you just expect to be tired because it's
Isn't
on
that
the list
funny?
of
That one
symptoms."
belief.
And then it
Yeah,
went away. It went away, and I wasn't tired
it's all
anymore.
make believe. Yeah, what you believe you dream. So if you have a belief, I mean, you can always check yourself if you're the dream, whatever you're dreaming, you're like, okay, what is it that I'm believing? What is it that I'm projecting? Because yeah, you'll project and hallucinate those placebo symptoms, and you can project anything. You can project that there is no withdrawal and that you feel amazing, and then you dream that. Yeah, you can dream. You can
How would you increase like the strength of the rendering effect, if that makes sense? Since you can
wait. What?
render anything, since you can render anything, like how would you increase like the strength of the rendering effect?
Well, I would just say that the more you meditate on your infinite being, just being yourself, being as you are, as the infinite,
The
the more
more
you,
that the okay,
yeah, the more that you bask in yourself, the more doubtless it
you
is.
already know it, yeah,
Yeah, you're so
because it's
certain.
already.
The more doubtless you are, the more certain you are with conviction. Like there is no doubt. That's when you can, yeah, that's when you instantly manipulate things. Like I was the other day for fun, when I woke up, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play with magic today and watch the instant manifestation just for fun. And then I sat up, I had forgotten about that thought. Just totally like had the thought and then forgot. And then saw a video that was inspiring, and was thinking I'm gonna post this to our group. And then right when I had that thought, our friend Raleigh in our group texted me that exact video and said, we should post this in the group. And so, and then I went to the tea house and was like imagining. So I was sitting there typing on this imaginary book, that's so this is so spontaneous that I don't want to sit down and organize things. I'm just like not interested in that. And so I had the thought, damn, I would love a fucking editor to just appear to do this for me. And then here walks up, literally right in that moment, an editor who introduced himself as Paul Peterson. He's an editor that lives in town, and he's semi-retired, but he noticed I was writing and he asked if I was a creative writer. And I laughed, because it's all myself
Mm,
dreaming myself dream,
mm.
And then I was like, yeah, I this is just a whole mess of channeling. It's just a crazy fucking mess, like a wild journal. And he was like, oh, that's perfect. I've been editing for channelers for 40 years. And then, okay, then something else silly. I was sitting in the window drinking tea in my room, which is just all, dream stuff. And I was watching the guy that was getting out to mow the lawn, and he was trying to start the blower, and he couldn't start it. It wasn't starting. And I was like, okay, right now, start. And it started. So just fun stuff, it's just it's playful. Yeah. I experimented with it for 7 years, and I would play. I started with really small things so I wouldn't piss myself off, and then moved to bigger stuff, you know. Yeah. But it's just also the thing is too is like even the idea of manifestation is playing small, because
I mean, yeah,
yeah,
I've done things where I control like the time, like thousands of years in the future or like thousands of years in the past. I mean, it's all being created or rendered by you now. So, I mean, just every single thought is also changing the past. It's not something that was set that happened. It's being instantly rendered or whatever. So, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at what's instantly manifested right now. Look around. Oh my God, this is freaking amazing.
Mhm. Mm.
Yeah. Look how powerful you are.
Mm.
You're God. I mean, this is incredible.
Mm.
And then and just basking in yourself, in your infinite being, you don't need anything. Like you don't even desire to manifest anything. You're so fulfilled. And so that's why everything appears effortless, It's at your disposable. You're just you're
Perfectly still. No
yeah.
effort being put into anything.
Mm-hmm. So just by your being alone, just by being I am.
I realized something else cool, incidentally. When I get my battery from my vape, which doesn't have a pod anymore because I used it up and threw it out, so it doesn't have a mouthpiece, I just put it almost up to my mouth and suck really hard, and it feels really good because I associate it with feeling good. So I can just cue the feeling on cue without
Yeah.
even needing the drug. It's brilliant.
Yeah, you are the
And
drug. You are the substance. Yeah.
uh, something another cool example of that I'll tell you about later.
Okay.
Ask me about it later.
Okay. You can tell me in the dream Saturday that's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like everything's the placebo,
Hmm.
like when you're taking a medicine, it's your awareness, it's your belief that you're already healed, or the belief that makes it appear manifest. It's not the dead icon. That's not even what it appears to be. You are the only substance. You are the only reality. So then you lend your power to these things, these beliefs, these when you're the only one, you don't even need to do anything. You just sit there and meditate on your being, and then everything's instantly healed and manifest and whatever, but then you give your power away to these things which don't exist without you. They don't have an independent existence. But that's part of the play too. I mean, if you're having trouble believing it, or or you're forgetting yourself, forgetting your power, you can project yourself as this imaginary placebo, and then it tricks you into believing it, and then you render it. But that's just an unnecessary ritual. It's kind of like a witchcraft, you know, way of doing things.
Speaking of rituals, Tony Robbins said that there's a ritual to being depressed. You can actually, it's actually quite involved. You have to walk around all slumped with a pout on your face and always say negative things again and again and again. Don't stop saying negative things or you might cheer up for a while.
You're right. It takes effort. Yeah. So as pure awareness, like I said, in between two thoughts, nothing's ever happened. You're pure, empty, free potential. You can be anything. And then by lending your power of awareness to a thought, you make it appear to exist. And then in that appearance, you dream a universe. So by giving your power away to a resisted thought, which is just a limited belief, a limited thought. So by giving your power away to it, there's hardcore resistance because the intuition is screaming that there's an error. It's saying, wake up. That's not happening. You're limitless. Wake up. You're God. And so that discomfort, you getting your awareness mixed up and identified with that limited belief, you then downward spiral, like lower frequency with trying to work it out with the mind. And then the mind keeps piling up these negative thoughts. And then you as awareness keep giving your power to be feeding these negative thoughts. And then it keeps lowering frequency to depression, because depression is just refusal. It's just refusal or separating yourself from experience. And it's saying, it's identifying as this limited belief is happening to me, is separate from me, and I am this limitation, you know. So it's just a resisted thought. But then simply, like immediately, you could catch yourself and be aware of it without thought, and then boom, you see yourself again as the absolute, dreaming this instead of downward spiraling, because you can't work it out with another thought. It's the cessation of thought that works it out. So then being aware without thought dissolves it instantly. And then the depression turns into ecstasy or happiness, because depression or suffering is just happiness being resisted.
And the world can't be that bad because I, as God, would have designed it better.
It's perfect. You designed it this way to, in your own image, to wake yourself up. Yeah.
I designed it badly on purpose.
Yeah, you designed it badly at first to wake yourself up, and then you see that you're rendering it, you're dreaming it. So then you only dream heaven. The job, it served its purpose. You know.
Yeah, I've been really happy the last 2 weeks. I was sad a lot before that, but now I've just been happy the last 2 weeks. Partly because of this stuff and partly because of Tony Robbins giving me attitude shifts.
Cool.
Uh,
Well, that's fun.
uh,
And then
you,
you were dreaming yourself as Tony Robbins, talking to yourself.
yeah,
Oh
he's
my
one of my favorite dream characters, so yeah.
Cool.
I'm one of my favorite dream characters these days too. I
Yeah.
didn't used to be, but now I am.
Isn't that great? Yeah, it's fun. It's fun dreaming. That's what you wanted. Just like in deep sleep, when you as awareness are all alone with yourself, you're only aware of yourself. So then you're aware of nothing. You have no knowledge. You're in a superposition of empty potential. You're not thinking or perceiving. So you're just your unmanifest self. And then with the activity of thinking, perceiving, you can dream yourself as this imaginary world, as this. See, this is fun. This is your play, your lila, your sport, your hobby. It's your hobby. And when you see it clearly, it's fun. You're invincible. You never die. So then you even dream, even the character is invincible. Even the character, even the body is formless. Nothing can harm you. There is no poison. There's only your mind. You're not scared of anything. You have no fear. You're invulnerable. You're invincible. So it only gets better and better and more amazing. And you're just exploring your infinite potential, your infinite self as God. And this is the only way you can recognize yourself is with this reference point. Because just like in deep sleep, you're not experiencing or recognizing. So you had to have something to be aware of.
Exploring your infinite potential.
Yay. Your infinite candy store, infinite playground.
How much can you magically change your body?
Oh, however you want. When I recognized I didn't have a body, when there is no body, all there is my self is infinite consciousness. It instantly healed anything I thought had happened to the body because none of it had happened. There was no body, there was no form. So then instantly all of the whatever I was superimposing as placebo ailments disappeared. And then I remember looking in the mirror and it was like a totally different body. It was like, oh my God. It's like, I mean, it's not there isn't a body. This is, everything you see is the face of God. Everything you see is your image of yourself as God. So then you only see beauty. You only see perfection. And you stay content. You don't suffer anymore. There's no separation. There's no resistance. So nothing's avoided or pushed away so how could you suffer, And there's no subject object, relationship. So even right now, closing your eyes without thought, there's just pure raw experiencing without an experiencer, without an experienced. Wow. Yeah, it's just instant, immediate, timeless. And just like the screen at the movie theater, the all the sensations, the thoughts, the images are just appearing and disappearing. And you're timelessly aware. You're just immediately timelessly tasting and nothing's really happening. Like, where is it? Where did it go? Try to experience the past right now. Without a thought, what is the past? So it's so obvious that you're this empty, open, aware field, this clean slate, which nothing's happening. You remain untouched, invincible. So you remain content. There's this feeling of like expansive, like contentment. Just there's no holding on to anything or any Velcro or anything sticking to you. There's no attachment to thought or belief or avoiding something or having a fear or like nothing's happening, you know, right now. What a trip.
This non-duality is good stuff, man.
And that's all you ever experience is non-duality. Always. When you check your actual experience without thought, without memory, all there is non-duality. So that was just a thought that it was duality. That was just a thought that there was something separate or a person. Isn't that funny? You've
It's a
never
whole
experienced duality.
universe of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your paradise. That's like Eden in the Bible or
Fun for
heaven.
the whole family.
Yeah.
The human family and the animal family.
Oh.
And the plant family, they might be sentient as well. Does
Yeah.
God experience being plants?
Isn't that amazing?
Because they found that plants respond to what kind of music you play them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's magical. I love that. And then the picking up the sound or the frequency of that, which is like just you appearing to yourself as that imaginary sound. That is so cool. Yeah, it's like one seamless, immutable frequency undulating within itself, tasting itself as unique frequency, but it can never separate from itself. So you never experience objects, or you only ever experience yourself as unmanifest awareness. Because try to separate the knowing from a plant. All there is knowing. So the plant is knowing. So that's why it's not what it appears to be. None of this is what it appears to be. It's all just pure knowing, pure awareness. And you're all alone with yourself. Just
I'm my own best friend.
yeah. You are. Yeah, I love the analogy of the child playing with imaginary friends. That's what this is,
And the child's imaginary as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're the
It's just a
one.
group of imaginary friends playing with each other.
Yeah, you're the one imagining the child playing with imaginary friends. So you always back up to yourself,
How many headsets are there in like the dream? Because whenever I took it off, like there was only like one mind. But like in the dream, how many headsets like are there? Like an infinite?
Yeah, you can dream infinite dream worlds, but you're the one infinite mind behind the outside of the headset, the one wearing it, which doesn't have a body or a quality. The infinite consciousness projecting itself. So you're appearing to yourself as like a holodeck in Star Trek, like you're just rendering on the fly by paying attention. So when you're not aware of it, you're not rendering it. You're not, it's only when you're not, it's in a superposition. And you are the infinite empty potential ready to appear. So you're just like the hologram and the VR headset is made of the field that it's appearing in. You are that field that it's appearing in. And what's appearing is you. So you can never escape yourself. You can never separate from yourself. You're always only experiencing the one wearing the headset, the one feeling it, the one experiencing it. So this, just like when you're wearing a headset and it appears that you're on a roller coaster, you're not really on the roller coaster, but you're feeling the elicited sensations. So that's all you ever experience is yourself as the sensing. So you don't ever experience anything. You don't ever experience a world. You only experience yourself as sensing, perceiving.
Mm. Whenever I saw that at first, that was wild. It was just all senses, that it was all coming from within,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, that like, I mean, just it's a visual hallucination, that's paper thin. And like, like any visual thing, like it's all being rendered or whatever. It's just all topical. So um I remember that. And so I don't know. It's just the headsets, like it's like you're rendering your own. The way that I view it is we're all the center of our own mandala, and so our own mind is rendering its own reality, and I guess they cross in some sort of way. Or how does that work?
I mean, we're just one being talking to yourself. We're just one. Yeah, they're not two. There's not a bunch of different minds. There's just one infinite mind, self-aware. And you're not the characters. You're the one experiencing. So even the screen is not what it appears to be. These faces are not what it appears to be. All there is the experiencing, the pure experiencing. So the scene is the seeing immediately, timelessly. No objects, non-objective. So just like being the infinite mind, wearing the headset right now, and in the headset there appears to be faces on the screen. Who's really there,
Mm.
But the one aware.
Yeah, I mean, I know that it's only me. You know what I mean? Everywhere, every being, it's the only thing that's ever been is me.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I know that for a fact, and that's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like the dream at night where you dream a character, you dream a world with a bunch of friends and you're walking on a beach. Then you wake up from the dream and you realize, oh wow, that was all me. That was all my mind. All those characters were my mind. All that beach was my mind. So it was all made of myself as consciousness. It was pure consciousness, infinite consciousness dreaming. It wasn't the body or the character laying in the bed. The body and the character laying in bed, you were dreaming, that like you dreamed it laying in bed, but and you're the consciousness dreaming the body going to bed. You're not the character going to bed. So you're not the character in the dream. You're not even in the dream. Just like when you wake up from the dream at night, you realize, oh, I wasn't even in the dream. That didn't even happen. I wasn't in that world. I was the one imagining it, dreaming it. So this is one infinite consciousness dreaming this. And then by the activity of thinking and perceiving, you're projecting this world and you're projecting these characters in the world. And then with your imagination, you project, you abstract and assume that there's all these different lives happening or dreams going on, you know? So you can look at yourself that way. You can look at yourself as I'm the infinite mind having infinite dreams simultaneously. But but none of it happened. None of it's happening. Your timeless being, just like the dream at night, it didn't happen. It's not happening. And that's an abstraction. That's imagination.
My mind can go into pure space, and because I know that it's just like appearances, like I know if I don't look at my body, it doesn't exist in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that like the Dzogchen people talk about like how appearances will fall away when you blink, and then you'll recreate them as you open. They're completely new. It's like
Mm-hmm.
completely new like every time you look at it. So
Yeah, it's like a big bang now where
mm,
nothing happened before this, you know?
mm. So I just blink and I can go and abide in that space. So I guess one of the things, I mean, I do commune with God. Like I think that there's an enlightened intelligence that runs through all things that is you, like kind of like the
But
enlightened
you
version
are
of you.
that. Yeah, you
Yeah,
are
you
that
coming you
now.
within you to show you you. And so I can talk to that intelligence through all things, and it's nice. And so the source energy or that infinite love energy or like that heaven energy, like the Buddhist Pure Land energy or the near death experience, like love of 10,000 mothers, they call it source. Like I can connect to that energy through that. And so that's
Mhm.
something that I've been doing. They call it supreme bliss. It's amazing.
Yeah,
So that's always an ever
but you
present
are
thing. And
that.
that's,
You are
yeah,
that.
it's, yeah,
Yeah.
already effortlessly. And so that's really kind of a
Saying
zero
God,
point for me.
yeah, because saying
That's what
God
real chill looks
is,
like. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
when you say God is, that's blasphemy. When you say I am, that's the truth.
Mm.
There's no God out there or intelligence out there. You are the intelligence. You can only be that. There's not two. So even with this imaginary abstraction, this imaginary projection, just like Donald, you asked about the headsets, like Donald Hoffman says, you know, you dream infinite headsets. You can dream any headset. So this headset is like the sense perception, the thinking and perceiving because everything is tasting, touching, hearing, smelling, and then you can based on your beliefs, as God, you project the limitations. So once you wake up to your infinite self, you can take the headset off or put on whatever headset, dream whatever you want to dream, quantum shift or whatever, because it's all your imagination. It doesn't matter. But there's no separate people in the dream, just like when you woke up from the dream at night, there was no separate characters in the dream having separate minds. There's just one infinite consciousness.
Oh yeah, I know for a fact that it's all me. Like to the
Mm-hmm.
point, I think I figured out like one of the reasons why God dreams is like, I suppose, in a state of loneliness or that state of oneness, you know, that's it's a lot being like the only one. So like I enjoy, you know, pretending that there are like my mother exists and like my father exists. You know what I mean? Like when I came back to this world, you know, I mean, they were gone. Everything was gone. This world was gone. I had to come back. So,
Yeah, I think it would be from the relative perspective, from you as God appearing to yourself within yourself as the activity of thinking and perceiving, which would then qualify it as lonely because you all alone are not lonely. You know,
mm,
you're that would
that's
just
like the
be,
satisfaction. That's like the bliss
yeah,
aspect of
you're
it, which
so
is
overwhelmingly fulfilled.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
even need a body. You don't even need to dream. You're too overflowing. I mean, you're just
And I felt that, yeah.
hmm
And I felt that, and I
yeah.
know that that is always ever present, and then that's what's effortless at every moment. So it's just getting where I'm at this moment to completely synchronize with that, or to align into complete synchronization with that, because that's total freedom, that's total liberation, it's already what you are.
Yeah, and it's just relaxing, just being as you are, and that's it. Yeah. It's too easy. It's too already. You can't not be. There's not two. So everything you're seeing, even seeing and perceiving and hallucinating is you. Everything you're feeling is yourself already right now, the infinite. There's nothing separate. You can't separate from yourself ever. Even if you appear to yourself within yourself as resistance, it's still you as God appearing to yourself within yourself, making love to yourself as the sensation of resistance. So you never abandon yourself, you never lose yourself. You can't.
It's the it's the deepening of it into, you know, the complete and total satisfaction of it. Still, I guess it's
Hmm.
all just naturally winding down into its, because it's effortless, you're already effortlessly it. So
Yeah, what's funny is, yeah, because like you can appear to hide from yourself by trying or looking, you know,
mm,
but you're appearing to yourself within yourself as looking, and you are what's looked for,
mm,
looking. So there's only ever yourself,
mm,
whether you're appearing as looking or not looking.
mm. And you're all that you've ever wanted. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then coming from that place of ultimate, you know, satisfaction is just, to me, it's like it's infinite play, it's infinite joy. It's like, you
Hmm.
know what I mean? Life
Yeah.
in motion kind of thing. So,
Yeah. It's the joy of being. It's just, and that's all there is.
yeah, some of these saints, they crack me up. Like Sai Baba of Shirdi, like he chopped off his own legs and like would reattach them just to show that, you know, it was a complete illusion. You know?
That's good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that kind of magic. Yeah.
Pull his guts out. Like, he really did. He would pull his guts
Yeah.
out.
You can do anything. There's no poison. There's nothing harmful. There's no fucking body. There's no form. There's nothing that can get hurt or harmed. There's nothing that can die. So you abide as your true identity, as pure consciousness that's formless and infinite and unborn, unqualified. The more you bask as that, the more certain it is, the more doubtless.
Mm. It
Yeah,
feels like there's like a practicing and like a deepening of the mind stream, or like a level of instant recognition that can kind of just cut through everything. Um, I'm not sure. Uh, hmm, what were you saying?
um, yeah, there's no path because you already are right now. So it's any effort would be just
One
being
step away.
yourself as pure awareness, appearing as you that is the sought, appearing as effort or appearing as. So that's why it's futile, it's and unnecessary, it's, and that's how you can appear to hide from yourself, is by looking for yourself. So that's why when you're not looking, it's obvious, and it's just simply being. It's,
There's nothing left to do. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, that's why, that's why you dreamed characters telling you meditate, meditate. That was you dreaming yourself as those characters, reminding you to turn around and look at yourself as the one dreaming. So then without thought, it's too obvious. When you're just being without thought, you directly experience yourself. So you then first remove yourself from distracting yourself from your dream, what you're dreaming, and then you look at the one dreaming. And then consciousness sees itself and recognizes. And then you see very clearly that all of this is you, that you were appearing to yourself as seeking. And that was just when you got too distracted with your dream, forgot yourself, that you were the one dreaming, and then identified as the character in the dream. So that's when you're seeking yourself as the one dreaming, but it's always the one dreaming that's seeking, because the character in the dream is not conscious, is not aware. It's like a dead icon on the computer screen. Isn't that a beautiful love story?
You're talking about like, wait, say that one last thing, like with the appearances and stuff, with like you like with one headset, so everything is just rendering to one consciousness, is what you're saying?
Well, I mean, even with the headset analogy, you're the one wearing the headset, the one formless infinite mind that doesn't die, it's always aware, always there, looking through the headset. You're outside of the illusion. And so when you forget yourself and all of a sudden you're identified as the finite avatar in the headset, that's when you, as the one wearing the headset, are looking for yourself, but you can't find yourself in the headset because you're the one wearing the headset. Just like the character in the dream is not what wakes up from the dream, it's the one dreaming the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's why you dream all of the clues to wake up from the dream. You dream the clue of the dream at night. You dream the clue of the VR headset, the movie theater, the screen at the movie theater, the freaking 3D, which is just sense perception, the 3D image on the flat dimensionless screen, and then the one dimension of thinking time to experience it. But none of it's real, none of that's happening. Because without thinking,
Yeah, it was a lot
what is
easier
that?
to kind of let go and for my mind to abide in space. I feel like it'd be a little bit easier for it to go through, like you know, abide in space like a little bit easier, because like the more that it does that, the more, I don't know, the more clear it feels, because it doesn't feel like it was it's been organized as it should. So
You mean just basking as the aware field, or like being,
yeah, like
yeah,
subconscious knots, challenging situations, things causing subconscious tensions that are, you know,
yeah.
distracting.
When you witness all that, you're transcending all of it because you're seeing yourself as pure awareness
Mm,
that's prior to the thought.
mm,
So when you're vigilant with those, if there's a habit of negative limited thinking or thoughts that you're identifying with, by being vigilant and being aware of it without thought, which is just being yourself as pure, immaculate, empty, screen of awareness, but presence,
mm,
it dissolves. You can't even hold on to it. By the power of awareness that you are, everything dissolves within you when you're aware of being aware of it. You can't even experience it because there's no subject object relationship. So suffering is thinking that you're separate from experience. All there is you could say, is pure experiencing, naked, immutable, indivisible beingness. Nothing divided. So even you're appearing as thought. You're what thought is made of. So why would you be scared of it, or why would you resist it? Nothing's scary anymore. Just like the believing in the boogeyman. When you realized it was your imagination, you weren't scared of it anymore, or didn't think it was separate. So yeah, the more you
So
ask, the more
yeah.
the thoughts quiet, but even the thoughts are yourself, so you're not resisting them, and you don't there's no negative limited ones because you're the open field of unconditional and loveness. I mean, so you're not resisting anything, so then there's no negative thoughts that would come up. That was only when you were resisting them or pushing them, avoiding them, making them appear separate, that they appeared negative. You see it for what it is. You have clear seeing. And that can appear to happen gradually, where you're just, the more you bask and the more you're being aware of the sensations, the feelings, the thoughts without thought being present, the more it just comes home. It's like a homecoming. Everything integrates within itself. It just swallows itself whole. And then you realize there never was subject object, there never was duality. And what is there without a thought, like right now, without answering it with a thought, just pure experience? No thing. There's no world. There's nothing to do, nothing to get free from. That was just a thought. That was just giving your power away, or, illuminating with your light of awareness a thought and projecting it onto the movie screen, that there was something to do. But without that thought, what is there to do? There's just total freedom for no one. So that's why it's easier to get naked of experience first, where you come back to yourself the pure awareness prior to thought, prior to experiencing, prior to projecting yourself as the activity of thinking and perceiving, so that you're not distracting yourself. And then you see your naked being first, and then you see clearly, and then you're like, oh wow, I'm pure consciousness, and all of this. I'm modulating myself as this activity of thinking, perceiving, so I can experience and taste myself as everything. But I am what everything's made of. I can never separate from myself. I never lost myself. I never forgot myself. I can't attain myself or find myself, because I can only be myself right now. And all there is now. There's no time. There's no time to even be able to attain anything. Too easy. That's the problem. That's the comedy. That's when you're laughing at yourself. Thinking that there was something to do or to find was just a thought. And what is there without a thought? What you were looking for. Right here, right now. The one experiencing this. The one hearing this voice, the one appearing as this voice. The one appearing as hearing, the sound, sensation, thought, feeling, taste, smell, touch. Just making love to yourself eternally. Yeah, it's amazing, because like with the projecting, with modulating yourself as thinking and perceiving, that's the only way that you can conceptualize yourself or experience yourself as God. And because all alone, like in deep sleep, when awareness is just aware of itself, you have no knowledge. You're in a superposition of empty potential, so you're not experiencing, you're not thinking or perceiving or dreaming. So with this reference point, you can recognize yourself. And I remember when it appeared to first, like consciousness saw itself, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not what I thought I was, and then it was like, but I had to reference the finite mind of thinking and perceiving to conceptualize that. So that's what you use it for, is your tool to imagine and have fun in because you're infinite. You're limitless. You'd have to appear to yourself as these limited thoughts and stuff to conceptualize yourself, because you're non-conceptual. So then, like when you first wake up and you're like, oh my God, that's why I was dreaming this, was to recognize myself as God. But it's only through the relative finite mind of thinking and perceiving that you would give rise to meaning. Because all alone, you don't need anything. You don't need to wake up. You don't need to dream. but it's through modulating yourself as this relative perspective is where you can give rise to meaning, and you can be like, wow, this is amazing. Just like when you're in deep meditation, when you're just basking in yourself, this empty, infinite, unqualified awareness, you extrovert your awareness back onto modulating yourself as thinking and perceiving to qualify yourself as, oh my God, I am so vast. I am so infinite. I am so fill in the blank quality. I'm empty. I can be anything. So you wanted to modulate yourself as the finite mind so you can experience and taste, you know, your infinite potential. So you can experience it. You can intellectualize it or conceptualize it or give it qualities. But without thought, you have no qualities. There is no time. You're timeless being, just self-aware being all alone. But then you extrovert, and then you qualify. And you're like, wow, I'm always content. I don't suffer. I don't have a body. So then you get to experience yourself as God. So you dream this to experience your infinite potential. Because how else would you? You're all alone. You're singular. Yay, friends. Big hugs. Mwah. Talk to you soon.